Hey everybody, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
It's a beautiful day here in northeast Kansas. The weather's great. It was a high of 80 today, and we got a ton done. I'm very tired. I got up to the live tonight late. And what I mean by late is obviously I'm on time for you guys to, do the live, but typically I'm up here at, 2 hours before the live trying to get all the slides together and all of that stuff. But it was kind of a long day. We did poured 3 different pads of concrete today. Throughout the day, plus amongst all of the other things. So I'll tell everybody just kind of as we get going here that I don't have as many slides in the live, although we have plenty to talk about just because I didn't get to it all. But anyway, so I just really kind of to start, just wanted to put our thoughts and our prayers out to all the people down south, who are really going through hell, and they're going through hell, caused by Mother Nature, but it continues to go on because of incompetence, and it's sad to listen to the stories. And, I've had some firsthand accounts of people that I've talked to down there that I just know, and the stories that they coming back kind of line up with, a lot of that stuff, but we'll definitely get into that. But real quick, let's get some hellos in real quick. Starla Dope was the first one in. Good evening to you, followed by Farm Branch Homestead. Welcome in. TB Living Free, how are you? Freesteader, welcome. Jean Menke, hello from Texas. Carrie Davis says, counting my blessings from Arkansas. Yeah, there is no doubt to that, huh? Half Bubble Off Plum, welcome in. And I'm going to miss that one for the first time ever. And the greatest name on the internet
Half Bubble Plum
is in the house tonight. And I know that he's down there in that neck of the woods, but everything that I've heard from him says that he's okay. Lisa's in the house. Lisa, how are you? Let's see here. Terminator says happy Friday, Freedom Friends. Got that one. Dana Green, good to see you. Let's see here. Terminator wanted to mention that could everybody please send a prayer to Little Miss Prepper and All-American Prepper. His father passed away last night. And so if we get you prayer warriors out there, and I know he's probably preoccupied and he is not live tonight, I wouldn't imagine, but he'll get the prayers either way. So, okay, what else we got? My buddy Indiana Mike, long time no see, huh? Actually just dropped him off in his driveway. And made him walk all the way up his road because I was in a hurry late getting to the drive. Sorry about that, Indiana. Yeah, Half Bubble Off Plum says we fared well. One tree on a fence and some larger limbs. Not really any rain at all, which was weird. Yeah, that is weird. Aljo, good evening to you. Tamber Smith, good evening. Gypsy's in the house. How are you, sire? Florida Mama Bear, welcome from Florida. How's everything for you in Central Florida? How are you faring, Florida Mama Bear? David Strom, good evening to you. Barbara, welcome in. Nitos, how are you, my friend? See here, Dorothy Holloway. Hello, hello. Easy, welcome in. Tringo, hello from South Florida. Well, since you're in South Florida, I'd imagine you're okay, but I hope everything's okay with you as well. Mandy Garrett, how are you? Good to see you. Amy B, hello, hello. Jen Botho, hello, hello. Grateful Hearts. Welcome in. Skanes Girl, hello. Jules, hello. Long time no talk. Let's see here. Crunchy Mama Farms, happy Friday to you guys. I hope all is well with you. I was talking to Joel Salatin today about you guys. Let's see here. City Greens, how are you? City Greens says, happy Friday. Please pray for all. They need everything. Prayers are needed, but cash pays the necessities. Yeah, especially if the cash can get to them, huh?
Yeah.
I'm a little bitter about that. Stan Guthrie, good evening to you. Welcome in. And Florida Mama Bear says, we are good. The Big Bend area was not hit so hard. Super glad to hear it. I know there's a lot of people out there who are impacted. I'll tell you guys, I've been talking to Billy Bond from Permapasture Farms kind of regularly through this. He is in Asheville, in North Carolina. And we know where he's at. Kind of sits up on top of a hill. So there, he described it as a minor inconvenience. But of course, right, you're coming from someone who's a prepper, someone who's a homesteader, someone who's got a lot of their stuff together. But his town's gone. And, some of the stories that, he shared with me were kind of powerful. And I'm not going to share them because I don't know what he wants me to share. But what I find so amazing about what he said is at the end of the day, when all that stuff was going on down there, it wasn't FEMA and it wasn't the Red Cross and it wasn't an ATM machine and it wasn't the electric company or the water company. It wasn't all of those things that helped them. What helped was your neighbor. What helped was who you knew next door and who you knew down the road, how involved you were in your local community, because the communities down there that are banding together are faring much better than the people who didn't even know their neighbors. And it just, absolutely builds commitment in me that we're on the right track in building community and that it is that critical.
Yeah.
You can have all of the food storage you want, guys.
Yes.
You can have an off-grid energy system like, B and I do. You can have ponds, you can have animals, you can have all of those things. But when you need help, who are you going to call? Because unfortunately, FEMA.
Or if you can't get to a call, who's going to come
look for you?
Try to find you.
That's right. Because at the end of the day, with a lot of those people, specifically in Asheville, that's all they've got. And it's just super, super sad to me. Let's see here to get everybody. Let me go back up here. Conserve Friends, welcome in. Hey, thank you for the email, by the way. Gregory Kissel, welcome in. Amy B says there's a GoFundMe to pay the farmers who lost all their restaurants but have all their stock. Yeah, you're welcome to post it and get it in here, and I'll make sure I post it up there. Hey, Squatchy, what's up, my friend? Nito says, my family and friends fared fairly well. Sons and close high school friends in North Florida, okay. Parents in South Carolina made it without too much damage. Blessing. Yeah, to get food to folks who are stranded without. Yeah, but from what I'm hearing is that those efforts are being hampered.
Yeah.
Leela, welcome in.
And I know of a lady who I used to give massages to. She put her Venmo on Facebook for people to send her money, and she would personally go to the store and buy items and take them to a church. But like you had said that there were, and we don't know if it's accurate or not, but there was talk about the churches not being able to get the items to the people who are in need. The items are not getting to the right hands. Yeah,
well, they're asking them to all go through FEMA. Don't donate to your neighbor. Just don't. We're going to get into this, but donate directly to FEMA. Terminator said, "Tag, when COVID hit here, we lost our home at the same time our government was hand money to help the people I thought I could trust my government and took the money, and now they want me to owe it all back." Yeah. Gosh, there's so much going on with that. I think I've heard "love thy neighbor" once or twice before. Yeah. What's amazing is how true is it today? And, it's crazy. Someone like Billy Bond, who I respect a lot.
Yeah.
He's a smart guy. He knows a lot. He knows what he's doing. He's super prepared. All of those things, when it all came down to it, none of those things really mattered. I mean, they mattered. It was nice because he said, we're going to be okay.
Right.
But it really was the community effort. He's been out and about in the community trying to help, trying to do those things. But it was the community motivation and the community effort that really mattered.
That was getting the help out. That was right.
Yeah.
It was the community that was helping, that was getting the help out.
That's correct.
And that was plowing the roads and that was getting the food
and rescuing people and
picking them up and taking them somewhere else
and cutting paths. There were some mule teams working their way through the mountains, stuff like that. Leela said, I started to say, I'm so glad to be here with you all. I appreciate you so much. We appreciate you, Leela. And I can't tell you how thankful I am for the community here online, for the community around me. It's so crazy. Today I was talking about how we were pouring concrete, and there were several times today that I just looked at it all and thought, none of this matters today. We're not playing the game for real. We're pouring concrete, and we're doing these things. But at the end of the day, when somebody needed help, they all come. Right. And it's just powerful. You guys reach out, yoke up, find others. Mm-hmm. If you can't find others, go somewhere where you can find others. I mean, I just can't tell you how critical it is and how reinvigorated I am. Not that I wasn't, but that how this motivates me to say, hey, we're totally on the right track.
It's because that's what matters. That when it matters, that's what you can count on.
Yeah. Yeah. Pinball Preparedness and Patera rallied their YouTube subscribers and local people to help Newport and Greensville, Tennessee. Yeah, and they're going to need all the help they can get. Farm Rant says 6 or 7 towns in North Carolina were nearly wiped out completely, and several in Tennessee were also severely affected. Citizens are helping, but government not so much. And I'm getting a lot of reports of that. Let's see here. Make sure I didn't miss somebody. I was just trying to say hellos, and I just get off on these tangents. City Green says, I think we could send cash to Permapasture Farms and trust him to disperse it accordingly. We 100% could. Billy's a good guy. That's exactly what we do.
Do they have, is he able to get supplies? Is he able, I know he has a car. I saw his video where he said he was okay and he was able to drive.
Yeah.
But do they have supplies in his area? Like, can
No.
he go and get some?
No. He can go, but it's a
things?
long drive, right? But he could
But
absolutely
he can't. They have items.
Yep, and he'd be willing to do that.
Because I thought that they were out of items.
Yeah.
Like, I thought they were out of personal hygiene items.
They are.
And gloves and.
Yeah, you got to drive quite a ways. But I know Billy would be willing to do it. If any of you guys are interested in donating through that method, if you just email me, I'll get you in contact.
Yeah.
And we can take it from there. Let's see here. Anger is building in Appalachia. Still little or no FEMA, feds, and in some cases state. Yeah, I'm going to talk a bunch about FEMA tonight. I did a bunch of investigating during the course of the week to try to figure out. Anyway, I'm not gonna about burst with it, but I got some interesting information. City Greens, he would agree. Oh, sorry, they're talking to Crunchy Mama. Grindstone Ministries is working with TEMA in 3 Tennessee counties. They're a 501c3. But the part TEMA is Tennessee versus Federal Emergency Management. It's Tennessee Emergency Management. Let's see here to go get down here to the bottom here. Sorry, guys, I'm going to skip down. Okay, Kelly May, welcome in. JB, good to see you. I'm just make sure I got highs to everybody real quick before I forget, because I'm falling further and further behind.
Isn't that crazy? They're using mules out of all
That's
of
what I'm
the
saying.
stuff that's going on.
Isn't that amazing? All the technology.
I just saw something scroll up that said mules.
Yeah,
and
none
like,
of
that's
it
just
matters.
amazing.
You know, even in these like docks, you know, the strike of the dock, I know that they've settled at least till January. Automation isn't what mattered. They went back to mules. You know?
That's crazy.
Anyway, Florida Mom versus Billy posted an address to send items in his video today. All right, there you go. Perfect. Let me see here. Make sure I got everybody. Kelly. Sorry, guys. It did go by fast. MEB says, sorry. Why did that not post? There we go. I'm seeing multiple GoFundMe sites in North Carolina. Trump has raised about $5.5 million. I donated to Grindstone. TJ is an amazing guy. Yep, super cool. If I just find somebody good, you know, if you look at the American Red Cross, just look on their website, you will find that 9 cents of every dollar actually goes to the victim, actually goes to the person in need. The rest goes to administrative fees. So Justin Rhodes' place got wiped out. House was saved. Oh, got a house, which is cool, right? Hey, Spags, what's up, buddy? Says they made it to Tennessee. They're down at Self-Reliance Festival.
Oh, nice.
This week. Spags and his beautiful bride, Patrick and his beautiful bride. They're down there hanging out. Hey, One More Rock, welcome in. Oh, One More Rock says they're using goats too. How beautiful is that, right? Kelly May says they just found a body in the river in Columbia, South Carolina. I was wondering if it's from someone from North Carolina. It's awful. The whole thing's awful. Yeah, Florida Mama Bear says Grindstone is in charge, not TEMA. It's Bear Independence Ministry. TEMA only authorized them, so nobody messes with them. Yeah, Bear, I would much rather have my money there than I would at TEMA or FEMA, or I guess would it be KEMA here? Kansas? Who knows, right?
We don't have one of those, do we?
Yeah.
I
guarantee you
emergency management, yes.
I guarantee we do, yeah. So anyway, absolutely crazy stuff going on. Again, we'll get into some of that kind of stuff. A couple things I wanted to announce to everybody real quick before we get into it. We talk a lot about building community, and I post a lot of land videos and those kind of things. There are a couple houses coming up for rent in our area that aren't for rent now. I know of 2 of them, but if someone doesn't have the resources to buy yet but wants to make a change, feel free to reach out to me, and I'd love to pass on the contact information, and maybe that'll help somebody out there as well. What else? So we've got an auction tomorrow.
Yep.
Right. So we, in my neck of the woods, there are big farm consignment auctions.
And they're usually back to back, aren't they?
Yeah.
One after the other.
Yeah. We have 2 of them within about 20 minutes of us. And those 2, we went to one last weekend, which I'll share with you guys what I came out of the auction with. But the big ones this weekend starts tomorrow. Actually, my good buddy Mo, who you guys have seen in here a lot, he's actually downstairs hanging out in my house while I'm up here doing the live because we're going to go to the auction tomorrow, which I'm, super excited about. But so we'll go there tomorrow. Lots and lots of stuff. I definitely will, keep you guys posted as to all of that. Also, I wanted to tell you guys, I really appreciate all the emails you send me, and I get a lot, and they're cool. Lots of good information, lots of stuff I didn't know about, lots of stuff I get to share on the live. And so it's really, really cool. So don't stop it. I don't mind it. You're not bothering me. I may not get back right away. It may take me the next day or the next day, just depending on what my schedule is. But you can ask me. I read every one of them.
Yes.
But it just depends on when I get there. But I really do appreciate it. And I just wanted to tell you guys, thank you for that. Life with Mike and Jen are in the house. Says listening while we work on shelving. How cool is that? Talk about fabulous people. I love Life with Mike and Jen, and we have a lot of fun when they come out, and I'm hoping they're coming out again soon sometime. Speaking of Jen, if you guys know this, Jen drives this big monster white Jeep Rubicon truck thing, and B yesterday told me that she thinks she wants a Jeep truck. So why don't you talk about what you think you want?
You put that all on me.
I do put that on
You're the
you.
one that needs a new car.
Then why are we buying a new one?
Because you want mine.
Oh, got it.
You were like,
You
I
guys-
really
you guys see how
I
that-
really want your car. And I was like, okay, then I'll just get a new one.
I just thought about something.
Yeah, no, we have to, because Tag travels, he's on the road. He spends some hours on the road. He wants to have a vehicle that he can trust.
Yeah, my truck that I drive's got 180,000 miles on it. I bought it brand new, and I've had it for 10 years.
I thought it was, I was gonna say 11, but yeah.
Yeah, it's however long. It's anyway, I need to get something done here at.
But yeah, so he's like, well, we
Jen
should
drives
get
Snack Force One.
I want a Snack Force one. But yes, I actually had sent her messages and was like, "What are these? The snacks you got?" And she's like, "No, here's the picture of the front of the box I get."
Yeah.
And so I had to. She does have the best snacks.
Yes, she does. Yeah, so it's good.
Yep, but yes, we're looking for a car.
A new replacement car. We're gonna replace one of our 2 cars.
We're keeping our cars.
Yeah.
We're gonna add another one.
Yeah, both of them. She's had hers 9 or 10 years. I've had mine 9 or 10 years. So we got to figure out something here before too long. Or yeah.
Yeah, and we were thinking about getting just like a Ford Focus. What were you thinking of? A Camry?
Like a Camry or something. Just something that got,
like great gas mileage, but then we live in Kansas.
Yeah,
and-
Jewel says Tag's truck is haunted too. Yeah, my truck has always been haunted. So it all by itself in the middle of the night, the back, the
lights on.
light for the bed in the back of the truck just turns on and then goes out.
Yeah.
We don't know why it does it.
We've had it looked at. They don't know why it does it.
Yeah. Yeah. So Farm Ranch says your truck's just broken in. It should be good for another 100 easy. Well, and it probably is. And I've serviced it really, really well.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, there's going to be times where I get in it and have to go drive to SRF in Tennessee, or I go to,
Right.
go drive across the country. And
Right.
I don't want to be doing that. So,
Well, and if we're still going to keep the truck so that I can go get
Yeah.
feed or whatever.
yeah. What up, my people, says Mario. Mario, how are you?
Hello.
Yeah. Hippocrates says Prius, Tag in a Prius. No, I would not drive a Prius.
Powder blue.
No. No,
You
thank
would buy. You would drive a Prius if
I would
we
not
had
drive a
it.
Prius.
You're-
well, if
I'm
it-
not
no.
going to drive that free car.
No, here's the thing. If it was sitting in the driveway, I might drive it here and there, but I would never go buy one.
Right.
I don't think electric cars are the answer. Also, where we live, there's not a charging station everywhere, which means I would not be going to buy one, just for the record. Okay, what else? All right, so I want to share something with you guys real quick. So just so you guys know, my last live got taken down, and I just wanted to share with you what I got from them.
Yeah.
So the first thing, which I found interesting, it said that our teams are continuing to work on reinstalling all removed channels and your access to paid subscriptions. We are very sorry for this error on our part, and we'll follow up here when it's done. So I noticed my last live was taken down, and so I thought, okay, cool, they're going to put it back up. And then 2 days later, I get this. It looks like Tag and Be Live didn't follow community guidelines. To help keep our community safe, we removed it from YouTube. What we found, we think your content didn't follow our medical misinformation policy. So they actually go on to refer to a specific time in the live. And so they said that they would offer me a couple things. So the first thing is I could take re-education camp and they would remove the strike against the channel, or I could do nothing and risk getting another one, which means they'd pull the channel down. And I just wanted to first quick say to everybody, listen, that if for some reason my channel gets pulled down, I'll just start another one. Now, I'm not going to start with, 8,000 beautiful subscribers, but I'll start with 3 and we'll just go from there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But this is what they said that I cannot do. Claims that an approved COVID-19, I can't even say that anymore.
No,
you know
you
that?
can't even read that.
So claims that the thing will cause death, infertility, miscarriage, autism, or contraction of other infectious diseases. Claims that that achieving herd immunity through natural infection is safer. Content that promotes the use of unimproved or homemade treatments, claiming that MMR, the thing, causes autism, claims that any of the thing causes that you can get it from it, claims that the thing are part of the depopulation agenda, claims that the thing causes chronic side effects, claims that the thing causes chronic side effects, blah, 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 blah. So
yeah,
I'm not.
You don't mention the thing.
So just so you all know, I think it just blows me away that our free speech is what it is today. And I guess it is what it is, Mario says you should get a Ford Raptor, best resale of all trucks, and B will be the envy of all the dudes and girls. I really don't want to spend $100,000 on a truck. Yeah, Skanes goes, weren't you going to quote JFK during your good news section? Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Cheryl, how are you? Says, thank your selected government for that. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
It is all good. But I just wanted you guys to see this. Let's get on to what's going on at the homestead. So here's the only things I bought at the auction last week.
A couple old dudes and some pipes.
Yeah. So I bought that big, that is a
stationary
feeder. Grain feeder. So we get to
storage.
Yep. So we get to fill that full of grain or whatever she's feeding. And I'll put it inside her barn, and then I'll build a chute outside so they can come fill it. So that will eliminate her needing to go pick up feed. They'll just put it on the route and keep us full, which was pretty cool. And then the other picture, which is pipe, that's 5-inch galvanized steel pipe. It's 10 feet long with a 1/4-inch sidewall. And this is what I'm going to use as the corner post for Bee's stalls in her barn. I bought 45 of them. So quite a few, which will be good. And so that's what I got. I don't know what do you guys think about what I bought? Farm Ranch says, perhaps you should create a backup channel now so we can all subscribe and go to it ahead of time and can find you there if this channel gets taken down. Yeah, I do have another channel. I don't really go on there very much, called Ungovernable, but I'm not there much, but I'll think about that. Vicky Poland, welcome in. How are you? Why not start a backup channel now so we all know which one it is and can go ahead and subscribe? Might want to start a new channel. I think I'm getting
There's
the
a lot
point.
of smart people in here.
Yeah. Yeah. Say talisman sounds pretty good. I like the term. Talisman. I must have missed something up above. Talisman. I don't know. I don't see talisman up there anywhere, but it might be a lot of. Oh, Tagistan, not talisman. Got it. Okay, I'm like, talisman? I don't know where that's at. Yeah, Tagistan.
Now it makes
sense. Yeah.
Talistan.
I'm like, talisman, man, I must have missed something.
Talistan.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yep, Tagistan.
Tagistan.
Yep. So anyway, that was the auction. We'll see what comes this next auction. There's a pallet out there of 2-inch by 4-inch square tube, 24 feet long, a whole pallet of it. I'm going to try to buy the whole pallet if I can.
It's rectangle too.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I think David brings up a really good point. Just make sure all your friends have your email or are on an email list. Yeah. Hey, if any of the moderators are out there, want to put my email address in the chat, feel free. And, I'll make sure that I put it up there, David. That's a great point. Because the capital is Ethiopia. That is correct, Dana Green. Yeah, that is correct. Ethiopia is the capital of Taganistan. Yep, pretty cool. Here's the Ungovernable channel. I'll put it up there real quick.
They can't really click on that though, right?
I don't know. I don't know if they can or they can't.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's at Starve the Beast, but it's there.
Is it
but,
called Starve the Beast?
Yeah, but I would start another channel because that one was one I was just dumping some of the Starve the Beast stuff on, thinking that we would separate the two channels, but I never got around to
So
it.
then you have 3 channels?
2. Oh, cool. Look at that.
You have the Open Government one.
Well, I do have 3 channels. I have the Open Government one, but that's not really my channel. It's a channel we share in the
Right.
community that for just stuff that goes on around here.
Right. But you started
Yeah,
it.
guys, if you guys look up on the screen, that is my email address. You can reach me directly there. So I'll just leave that up there for a little bit. Thank you, Farm Ranch Homestead. Thank you, Cheryl Seller. You could also find me on Freesteading. That is absolutely correctly a great point. And Tamara says you can click on it. Excellent. Yeah, I don't post a lot on there, and I'd probably need to do something but I mean, are they going to let a channel called Ungovernable go on? I mean,
Well, you're not.
You know. Anyway, all right. So what else is going on the farm? So this is my cistern that's getting ready to go in the ground.
It's not going to hold water like that.
Yeah, no, it's not. But I had to put those bulkheads in. See, I taped the ends of them so that I could put it underground, which I've got it in now. But this is what is the water tank that's going to feed the community building.
From
And-
rainwater.
Yep. So I got that all done. And then we got to do some sawmilling this week, which was super cool. We sawmilled 3 pallets of lumber this weekend in about 6 hours, maybe. Most of it walnut and cherry. But I just thought I'd show you guys some pictures of us doing it because it was pretty cool. And it was really good to do it. I hadn't done it in a while. And, we talk about prepping a lot about all of the different things you need, but entertainment's important too. And for me, I love building furniture. I love being in my wood shop. If I could do any job on the farm, it would be to go close the door of my wood shop, turn on a YouTube video or a podcast, right? Start a fire in the wood stove and build furniture.
Were you doing 2x4s there? It looks like. Is that a 2x4 you're cutting?
No, that's just what's left. That's just what's
Right
left.
there.
No, that's not two. No, he's cutting a 3/4 board there. But yeah, Tamara asked if I got a sawmill. We've had a sawmill here for a long time. We've milled a lot of lumber, and I have a wood shop full of wood. But as I mentioned, that I like having those things that I enjoy. And so this winter, I want to be a new bed is on my list, and so I want to build it out of walnut. And so we've milled a whole bunch of walnut logs. Like I said, I have 3 pallets of them. And I did 6x6s and, 2x10s and just all kinds of different sizes. And then this winter I'll be able to do
Do you
that.
have something in your mind that already?
Yeah. Yeah. So the picture, if you look at the picture on the right, down there in the bottom, there's 2 cherry trees right there. So we got to mill up some cherry along with some walnut, a little bit of cottonwood. I've got some hedge to do and some other stuff to do, but we really focused mainly on walnut and then just the 2 cherry trees that I had. And so you guys know all of these trees come out of where we built the pond.
Yeah.
They've been down for a while. I've been saving them, knowing I was going to eventually mill them all up, and do that. So B wants one of the walls in our bedroom to be covered in all the different species of wood that come off the farm. And so that's what the 3/4 boards are for.
Right.
So that I can cover the wall, which is pretty cool. I took this picture just so you guys could see it. That's a piece of cherry. We had a big black cherry tree right in the middle of the pond where we were going to put the pond that we took down, and it was about 2 feet in diameter. And so we milled all of it up. I have no idea what I'm going to use it for, but isn't that just pretty? Just so pretty.
It is really pretty.
Yep. What else? So we got the solar panels mounted on the community building. And as if you can see that white tank in the bottom of the picture. It's partially buried, not all the way yet, but it's partially buried. And but really this picture was just to show you guys I got the panels up. So that means I have the grid down system mounted to the walls, and now I have the panels up. So everything else from this point forward is running and connecting wires. And
Yeah.
so hopefully
And you had to rig the parts that I bought, right?
not really rig
I
them.
purchased some that were not, some were longer than others, and then the holes weren't as big, so you had to make the holes bigger and try to piece together I didn't know what I was buying. So
yeah, and babe, I love you, babe, but it's not really. B thinks that any manipulation I do to any part or anything like that's kind of jerry rigging or whatever. But
Yeah.
The
You have to
clamp,
like make it work.
the clamp that holds the panel down between the two panels, there's like a T-looking clamp thing. The hole was too small for some of it, and so I just bored out that hole, made it a little bigger, and then ran the bolt down in it. It really wasn't a big deal. Wanda Weber says, I have an end table and a large rocking chair that my grandpa made, and it's out of catalpa.
Cattle.
I don't even know what that is.
Catalpa.
Pretty cool, but I don't even know what that is. But anyway, so solar panels are in. That's cool. As you guys can see, I got the 2 trees mounted up into the ceiling inside of the kitchen,
Which was a chore.
which was an absolute chore. Just getting it all right, because the problem is getting it to sit flat on the ground, because it has to sit perfectly flat, and then getting it up there kind of straight. Even though if you guys know anything about hedge trees, I'm going to tell you something. They twist and turn, and they're really hard. They look straighter than they are in this picture. Skane's girl says catalpa. Okay, cool. Catalpa. Pretty cool. I don't even know what that is. Even though Skane's girl, you told me how to pronounce it, I still don't know what it is. Got that done. So we poured some concrete today. This was this morning at 9 o'clock. In the picture over there cleaning the Fresno back there, that's Joe from American Roots Farm. But anyway, so you can see the guy hanging out the door in the red sweatshirt. That's one pour. And then the pour right there in the picture, that's the other pour. And these are the 2 we did today at my farm. And then we went and helped Joe do one at his farm as well. Yep. But so anyway, all the concrete out in front of the community building is now complete. Every single big hedge tree is encased in concrete. So
should not move.
They should not move now. That should be
permanent. Well, and now you got to wait a place to walk in and out without tripping over a rebar grid or.
Yeah. So that was this morning at 9 a.m. Conserve Friends says, I had to laugh at the normies. The toilet paper run at stores because of the dock strike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're forced to go to the store for TP, you're doing something wrong. But B went to, you were at Sam's Club today, right?
Yes.
But you didn't go down the TP aisle, did you?
I did not go down the TP aisle.
What's that tell you?
I didn't need it.
That's right.
But there was a lot of people there.
Yeah.
I've never seen that many people at Sam's.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm glad you went. Wanda says, there was a full section not far from my place that had the railroad brought during the 40s, and they planted the tree. They used them as railroad ties. Oh, cool. I'll have to look that up, because I'm not really sure what that is,
Can you turn the light on behind you? I was going to write that down, but I can't see.
How about that, guys? Welcome, daylight.
We have electricity.
I know. Skane's girl says that was my favorite climbing tree at my papa's as a kid. We also picked catalpa worms to go fishing, big green caterpillars. Isn't that neat? Super, super cool. All right. So if you guys look really closely at the floor between those 2 trees, you'll see some lines on the floor. And what I'm in the middle of doing is building the bar. So we're going to have on the front side, a bar where people could sit at, but on the back side, that's where her stainless prep tables will be. We'll be right back behind it. And so you can see the cabinets sitting on the floor. I'm going to insert them into the bar so that she gets more cabinet space, right? Because you can't have enough of that.
Yes. He had to draw it out and place cabinets there so I could see what he's talking about.
Yeah. My wife is really great at a million things, but an imagination is not one of them.
Mm-mm. No, but the trees look a lot better with all the stuff gone from behind it. You could actually, and the supports for the
they're all gone.
Ceiling, I guess.
Yeah. Now these trees, when it's all done, you guys will be gray. They'll look like old weathered wood.
Which is so weird that it's
just
not going to be yellow.
It won't be yellow.
When you cut it, it's yellow.
Yeah.
Can't you dig past the gray?
You can.
Can't you sand past the gray?
You can, and it'll turn yellow. And then you'll polyurethane it or you'll epoxy it, and a little while later it'll be gray.
Oh.
It's like cedar. You know how cedar is really purple?
What about the tongue wood or whatever, tongue oil or whatever you can put on it?
It's
Doesn't
still
that
turn gray.
Okay.
There's nothing you can do about that. What a great meeting area with the dark roast coffee bar. Yeah, there's a coffee bar right over there, which would be pretty cool. JB says TP and paper towels at my Sam's are gone. Food, however, was well stocked. Guess they're more worried about what's coming out than what's going in. Oh, that's a great statement. And how true it is, ironically true,
That's so funny.
Yeah, I had a deep set of cabinets under my sitting area of my 6x13 island for extra storage. Yeah, I'm going to put 7 cabinets inside this bar. And
they're wall cabinets. They're
Yeah.
12 inches deep because I need the space behind them to roll a prep table up
Yeah.
to.
Kelly May says it looks great. Thank you, Kelly May. Well, hey, the beautiful MJ from Wisconsin is in the house. How are you?
Hello.
All right, so that's just looking at it from the other area. Again, same picture. You can see the lines on the ground as I, get working on it. But life is good. We're making ground. Like I said, got the solar about in, working on the inside. A little bit here, a little bit there. I've built and put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16 cabinets so far, and I got a million still left to go. But Jules says, why do people not realize TP is made in the USA and won't ever be stuck on a barge? Laugh my ass off. Hubby just said you need a lot of TP with all the crap we have to deal with. Isn't that true? Yeah, isn't that true? Yep. That's exactly what I did, B. I used uppers for that part of the bar and it worked great. Yep. Yeah, Pete says that was great, JB. Yeah, that was absolutely great. We'll put that back up there because that was funny. All right, what else we got on here? Okay, so then I told you guys I poured concrete, and then this afternoon I went over to
What's that tarp for?
so that the concrete don't splatter up against it.
Oh,
Because concrete makes a mess.
Oh,
Right, they're smarter than I am. Yeah, you see him pointing at me?
Why?
Yeah, he was talking to Joe about me. I was just got my camera up and just took a picture.
You better take that
Yeah.
camera off me, man.
Yeah.
I don't want pictures.
Donna says, "Are you going to carve a heart in the tree with your names on it?" Yeah, I am now. I am now.
Oh, I love that.
I absolutely am now. Great call,
Aw.
Donna. Donna for the win. Great call. And you know what? Come back on a live coming up soon. I will have one in there. Take that to the bank. This was fun. We got out there. The concrete truck got there. It wasn't a super hard pour. That's Indiana Mike there and Joe. And so we had about 5 of us out there and we blew it out. Didn't take, long at all. And we had it done.
How come you don't use those little rebar chairs?
Because I pound fiberglass rebar into the ground. Some people like the chairs. I prefer the
are
rebar.
those chairs pounded into the ground?
No, they're just sitting on the ground. And then one thing
Do they move when you're pouring the concrete? Because the concrete
they
comes
can.
out in force.
Yeah, they can. That's kind of why I don't like them. But it was all right. There's a couple of them we had to move back in place.
Or do you wire them in?
No, they just sit on the ground. Now you wire them to there's little C areas where the rebar clamps in.
Oh,
Right, to 'em.
okay.
That kind of holds them in place. But anyway, pretty cool, right? Okay. I wonder. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So anyway, so that's what's been going on in the farm. You got anything you want to talk about that's been going on in the farm?
Nope. I got some ironing done.
Yeah.
I did laundry.
Yep.
I did paid the bills.
Mm.
Balanced checkbook. Went to the bank. Went to Sam's Club.
When got cash.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, there's more questions now.
Oh, okay. Tell us
And
about
I
it.
said,
Tell us about it.
She wanted my social security number.
What?
Yep. And I said, you mean my EIN? And she said, hey, she even asked her manager, am I supposed to get the EIN or the social security number? Because it's a business account, right? And he said, no, I need her social security number because she's the one taking it.
Did you tell him no?
No, I wanted my money.
I'd have told him no and seen what happened.
I said, and they asked me something else. They always ask me what the money is going to be used for. And I say business expense because it's a business account. I'm taking it out to pay business expenses, which makes sense because I'm not taking it from my personal account. And it is business expense. And then I don't remember. There was something else she asked me. And I said, what? Why? And she said that they're cracking down. They're getting more secure.
Cracking down on what?
Security problems.
Yeah, but cracking down on what? On honest people who work hard for their money, having access to their money? I mean,
Oh,
What are you cracking down on?
no. She actually she asked to see my ID too, which she's never done
Excellent.
before. And when I walk in, the guy who I see every time greets me by name.
Mhm.
Even though I'm there to do business in my business account, which is not my, is not
Mhm.
in my name, it's in the business name, but he greets me by name, but yet they need to see my ID. I thought that was kind of weird, but I don't remember. But anyway, they're cracking down.
Yeah, so be prepared. Apparently, you have to.
Oh, and they didn't have $100 bills. My bank did not have $100 bills or 50s. I had to get 20s.
You got to be kidding me.
No. Do you know how big the stack is?
No, I
It
don't
looks like I'm
out.
rich. I'm like, this stinks.
Yeah, Jules says they're cracking down on your right to do what you want with your own money.
I should have said that. I wasn't that fast.
Conserve friend says because they're on camera, B.
But they've never asked for these items before. And when she asked me for my social security number, she asked me to write it down. And so I wrote it down and I gave it to her. And then she set it to the side and started doing her business. And I said, can I have that paper back? And she said, well, I was going to shred it. And I said, well, I'll just take it with me.
Carrie Davis is a good age. She said they started getting out of ATMs every other day.
Oh, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
I bet you could get hundreds out of the ATM. $100 bills.
Probably. My little local bank has face recognition. They know me even when I look like people of Walmart in a different vehicle. Oh my goodness.
Well, I do want to say when I was talking to a friend, and she walked into the bank, and they said, "Hello, Bethany," and she goes, "I'm not offended. My best friend's name is Bethany, but I'm not Bethany." And I was like, "Who called you that?" And she told me the bank lady, and I was like, I know her. How weird is that?
You guys kind of look alike.
How weird is that, though? Like, I've sat at her desk, like, I don't know how many times, and yet she calls somebody else me. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Gizmo, how you doing, Gizmo, by the way, says just testing comments because mine aren't updating. Oh. Yeah, I've had a lot of this. I've had a lot of people lately talk about how their comments are deleted as soon as they hit enter. I don't know. I mean, they've been messing with my channel, obviously, so who knows? But
right.
Yeah. JB says Gizmo close chat and reopen. I have that happen a lot. Would they let you get by with giving only the last 4 of your social security number?
I didn't ask.
Yeah,
I just was like, give me my money.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think when you go into those situations, you got to push back. Don't be, you're gonna be rude.
Just be like, I'd rather not.
Say, I don't want to share that information.
Well, especially since the other guy, I could be like, hey, can you like help me out? I don't know.
And just push back a little bit, because if you don't push back, then they assume everything's okay. And it just progresses, right? It's like the death of 1,000 cuts. Right. And so you got to start saying, no, I don't want to do that. Give me my money. And if they say, we can't give you your money, say, then here's the deal. You can give me my money, or I'll go home and tell my husband, and I know him really, really well, and he'll have the account closed the next day.
Yeah, I don't want to say something like that. And then you have to go do it.
I'll do it.
Or I'm just
I'll absolutely go do it.
Complainer.
Well, or just say no and just be quiet and see what they have to say about it. I don't feel comfortable doing that. Right?
Yeah. I just thought it was weird.
Especially because they have your social security number. You have to have it when you open an account.
Well, and they knew who I was. Well, she had to type it in, though. Like, she had to type it into the computer.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot lately about pushing back, but now it's harder. Well, the longer we wait, Squatchy, the harder it gets.
Well, the more we allow, it's harder to get. The more.
And speaking of pushing back, Jules says saying nothing is the same as agreeing. No, it's not. Well, it depends. It depends on what you mean in what context. If B says in this case, no, I don't feel comfortable with that, and then just be quiet, that's not agreeing. That's just allowing them, they say those who speak first loses, Nito said, I have been getting buffered, feed just keeps freezing.
Mm.
I'm showing good signal on my side. So anybody else having problems with that? Amy B says, I had to reboot comments several times. I'm sorry, guys.
How do you reboot the comments? I thought it was part of the
I don't know.
feed.
Squatchy says that they're always pushing back. Good for you. Yeah, every time I post, the chat stops, and I have to X out the chat and come back. So crazy. Wanda says 5x5. Cool.
It's probably because they're going through every word that's being said.
Mm. Get the daily thing out here on the left coast. Yeah, I worry for you guys out on the left coast. You know, look at the stuff that's going on, you know, all over our country right now. And man, yeah. I mean, if you don't push back and stay quiet, it's the same as complying. Yep, I agree with that. Hey, Hilltop, welcome in. Hey, and there's the lazy loper says, I couldn't cash a cashier's check, and when I had to deposit it, they put a hold on it on a cashier's check. Isn't that the reason why you get a cashier's check?
Yes.
Nito
because
says
it's cash. It's guaranteed cash.
Yeah, Nito says I'm near a military base. That might be why it's buffering, right? Cheryl says I keep getting ads popping up in the chats. When did that start? It's not a video ad. I don't know. I didn't know you got ads in the chat. So you guys know I'm not on YouTube. I'm have StreamYard, and so I'm actually in StreamYard that then just sends it to YouTube. So I'm actually not in YouTube. That's crazy. Pete says, yep, and I was a witness to that. Time for me to run down to 15%. Be safe. Everybody do not comply. Jules, good to hear from you. Yeah, life is good. So what else you got? Anything else you want to talk about on there, bud? We can talk about stuff going on in the world today.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, there is a lot. I could tell you guys, though, I can't tell you how proud I am of the community, and I feel safer being in our community, you know, and knowing that, you know, if there's a giant flood somewhere or a big hurricane comes through Kansas, and you might laugh, Kansas don't get hurricanes. Yeah, well, you know, neither did Asheville, North Carolina, 300 miles away from a coast. But guess what? Right? So I'm just telling you, I feel good about it. I really want to encourage you guys to go try to find community no matter where you got to go, because with it, everything's possible. And without it, you can only hold out so long.
As you say, you're just alone.
Yeah. And but then the problem is you get into situations like what these people are having now, and you need help. You know, you're incapable of doing it alone. And then who comes to your aid?
You just wait for help to come.
That's right.
If you can wait that long.
Yeah.
There's people out there on diabetes medicine that are like, I just know I'm dying.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get any.
Yeah.
I can't get anywhere to get any.
Yeah.
And
there's some lessons learned in that, huh?
Yeah.
Cashier's check can be forgeries. I sold a watch once, and it was a fake cashier's check. I never knew that and never got my money. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Yeah. That's weird that they're putting ads in. What are the ads that are going in the chats, guys? What does it say? What kind of ad is it? Is it insignificant?
Like it turns off the live and brings on an ad?
No, they're talking about in the chat. They're getting ads popping up in the chat. That's so weird. So weird. All right. Well, you guys want to talk about the deep state? You guys notice I skipped the medical one this time? I may get back to it. I'm not in the mood for it right now. Hey, Tina, how are you? Tina says, yeah, I've been getting ads too. I never seen it before. Yes. Figures. Might have to do with them getting mad at me this week.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, maybe.
Better watch what you say.
Yeah, let's talk about some interesting stuff in the news. Kansas related. I wanted to put this first. Mike says, I got an ad for bulk order squash.
Nuh-uh.
He's full of shit. No. Yeah. So anyway, in Kansas, there's that big energy corridor thing that's going on. And so they're talking about, it isn't just Kansas, it's all the way up through Oklahoma, through Kansas, Missouri, up into Illinois. People in Chicago obviously need their power. But anyway, what they want to do is they want to cut a 5-mile swatch out of the entire length of the state of Kansas. But we're getting more and more pushback for it. And just recently, the county leaders say no to proposed energy corridor that could impact Kansas. But the proposed energy corridor that would cut through parts of Kansas are getting more pushback this week, with the leaders of counties that might be impacted stepping up to say no. And so basically, I won't read the whole thing to you, but basically a bunch of counties got together, the county commissioners got together, and are trying to put a stop to it. Because what they're going to do is they're going to come in eminent domain, a strip of land, or maybe they'll buy the land if they can get them to sell it. I'm not sure how it's all going to work. And they're going to put this big energy corridor right through the grain belt. Then you obviously got to deal with the EMF and, and all of those kind of things. But the good news is that the commissioners of those counties have stepped up. I wish I could tell you my county was one that did that, but it's not. Let me see here. Farm Ranches. I'm not seeing ads on the chat in my computer. I am using uBlock Origin to block them. Okay. I didn't know you could do that. What else? So I find it interesting. I want to talk a lot tonight about the hurricane and what's going on down there. And I don't even know if I should be using those words, right?
Okay.
I don't even know. But there's so many posts out there. Like I was talking to you guys about, the conversations that I had with Billy about how at the end of the day, it really came down to just the community. Radio Made Easy, which I don't know if you guys know him or not, Evan, but he put a post out that I thought was interesting. He said, regular dudes with pickup trucks, Bale, Fangs, and Courage are still outperforming federally funded agencies here in Western North Carolina 6 days in. We're equipping aid workers with radio comms as they head into the disaster zone at no cost. Let us know what you need. And I think that summarizes, a lot of what's going on. And I think there's lessons, and this is actually what I'm hoping you guys can help me with tonight, is hopefully we can talk about what are the lessons that could be learned from a situation like that. I mean, I've learned lessons and it didn't even affect me directly.
Right.
It affected me indirectly because I have people I care about who are hurting. But I thought this was interesting too. This storm has showed the importance of paper currency. When everything went black, the card wasn't worth the plastic it was made on.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I tried to use my, I tried to stop and get a water at the gas station, tried to use my card and the card wouldn't work.
Really?
I had to find $3 to get a water.
Hope they don't come down here. Our commissioners don't have a backbone. Yeah. Right. Chat ad for Factor, prepared meal delivery. What? Hey, Bonnie, welcome. What's going on? Better watch out for a hurricane coming up the 5 Mile corridor. Interesting that you say that. Hey, Lyric, how are you? Welcome in. Said they just got an ad for Investco.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Crazy. This was an interesting post too. It said, if you think you're safe from weather control, consider that Asheville, North Carolina, a city nearly 300 miles from the nearest coastline and an elevation of 2,134 feet, just got wiped out by a hurricane. To put this into context, that's taller than we are here.
Ooh.
Right?
Well, have you seen all the water maps? Have you seen?
I've seen them
that's
all.
A lot of water coming inland.
Yep. Farmers using tractors and chainsaws to clear local roads there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know that most people didn't have flood insurance? Homeowners won't cover groundwater. Oh my goodness. Yeah, maybe they aren't meant to be there, or maybe someone doesn't want them there, right, Carrie Davis? I Am Leah, which I thought was super. Yeah, I Am Leah says, things that help me survive I don't know what to call it, the thing that happened down there, right? A gas car, a gas stove, a gas hot water heater, a gas chainsaw, and cash. Things that are and were useless during the issue: electric cars, electric appliances, debit cards, the city bus, the government, diversity, and my tax dollars in the Ukraine.
Ooh. Ouch.
I think this is really important, though. We talked about how they were using mule teams.
Yeah.
And someone in here mentioned goats.
Right.
Right. And they're talking about, chainsaws. And
did you hear of the electric cars catching on fire in people's garages because of the water? Burning the houses down.
I didn't see that.
They say that you have to keep the batteries wet until the fire goes out or something.
Well, lithium's super hard to put out. Let me see here. I think a lesson for all your skills will be needed, even if you thought they weren't that important. Assets, same. Your home can be a hotel. Your gas can be the source to rescue with a chainsaw, etc. Yeah, good. Well said. Psalms 125. Hello, how are you? Says above the chat bar, there's an ad. Not seeing any in the actual chat. Okay, Roger. Gypsy says, I think it's going to open up eminent domain. Oh, probably. I mean, all of the government meetings that I've watched, they don't really care what the people want. Yeah. Gizmo says they got an ad for 500 trading. Who knows? So crazy. These are a couple pictures I thought were super fascinating. I know you guys have probably seen all of these, but the picture on the top is the town before and after.
No,
Look
I
at that,
didn't
babe.
see that.
That's a town. That's what it looks like now. And look, match the mountains in the background, right? Absolutely a shame. Absolutely a shame. Hey, Rosie, welcome in. Good to see you. Let me see. It shows how dependent on their system we are. That's why it is so important we connect with communities and set up and support parallel systems. David, I couldn't say it better myself. Great job, and absolutely 100% yes. Everyone needs to add life jackets to the preps regardless of where we live, evidently. Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm sorry, they're talking. What's this here? Key, hello. AKJB? I don't know how to say that, but welcome in. Tamara said there's a lithium deposit under one of those North Carolina towns. There is. There's also some quartz deposits that are pretty valuable too. Gypsy says Chimney Rock, North Carolina was totally demolished, but it was interesting because that's the town that they wanted because of the lithium underground. Now, a lot of people are talking about this lithium down there. You're very welcome, and cheers to you as well. While all this is going on, I don't know if you guys seen this or not, but they're deploying the Tennessee National Guard to the Middle East.
Really?
They are. Isn't the National Guard supposed to be for the National Guard? And yet they're deploying. I just thought you guys would find that interesting. For immediate release, September 26, 2024. They are deploying them out of Tennessee. Let's see here. Psalm said Abel Marl and Zimto Capital Corp are the mining companies involved in North Carolina. Yeah, and I'll bet you if you go look at them, they're owned by BlackRock and Vanguard and State Street. Yeah, Tina says, yep, that's what they want. They want the land. Yeah, completely unbelievable. Scanes, that's what I think too. I think all of this is unbelievable. So Maracus, whatever the name is, he said, we are meeting immediate needs with the money that we have. We are expecting another hurricane hitting. Okay, so this is the director of the Department of Homeland Security. Okay, we are expecting another hurricane hitting. FEMA does not have funds to make it through the season. The Biden-Harris and FEMA have spent over $1 billion funding illegal immigration. Okay, let me get this name right. Oops, sorry, one more. Let me get this name right real quick here. That is Akaidu at 9D for life. Oh, okay. Got it. Now, 9D for life, I remember because we went through this too, right? Yep, got it. Isn't that crazy? They're saying that they're expecting another hurricane. They don't have any money because they've spent it all. In almost 1 week, the Potato and what are we going to call her? We need to give her nicknames.
I thought it was Heels Up.
Okay, Heels Up deal. So the Potato and Heels Up administration approved $8.7 billion in military aid for Israel, $8 billion in military aid for Ukraine, $567 million in military support for Taiwan. But they love you guys. I'm telling you, they love you guys. They're going to give $750 one time in assistance for the American victims of the big storm. Okay, let's try this again. His name is pronounced Melaying P.O.S. Orcus. Oh, that's actually kind of smart. Yep, Melaying P.O.S. Orcus. He's talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's clever, actually. Very clever. All right. This is frightening philosophy. According to Heels Up, disaster aid should be based on race and gender, not how much water flooded your home. And I'm actually this one tweet that I took from Dan Crenshaw made me go down a whole rabbit trail, which I'm going to share with everybody tonight, just to see, is that really true, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, breaking, this POS just said the American people need to help fund the recovery of the hurricane in North Carolina because it's going to take a hell of a lot of money. The head potato in charge said that you and me, the American people, need to fund the recovery efforts down there. So interesting to me because we're already funding it, right, through our taxpayer dollars, but they don't have any money because they're funding their projects. They're funding the stuff in the Ukraine. They're funding everything else. So they want us to fund it twice.
Again.
They want us to fund it again.
Just do your part.
You do your part. Plus just a little bit, right? Albemarle, top shareholders, top two, Vanguard and BlackRock. Of course it is. See? I could have guessed that, right? Going to do some family time night, and a big thank you to TAG. See you all in the spring. Yes, ma'am. Kelly May says 2 hurricanes coming right now, one in the Atlantic and one in the Gulf. Yep, I seen that.
Oh, no.
Yep, I seen that. Kamila. Oh, Kamila.
Kami.
That'd be a good one, too. Hey, Chris White, how are you? I hope you're driving safe. They are dragging their feet as tempers rise. Search and recovery is quickly going to recovery. They want to enable martial law, which will then affect the election. This is a whole other theory behind it, right? Because most of the impact is in red states. Would be pro-Trump states.
Yes.
Right? Most of those. Never let an opportunity go to waste. Right? Never let one. People in Florida had to move their EV cars away from the salt water or else they will catch on fire, but yet they want everyone to have EV cars. Mandy says, I'm so pissed with our evil, corrupt leaders right now because they have money for other countries, but not for our own people. Yeah. Most will not be able to get the $750. If they had home insurance, they will not get it. Oh my gosh.
Really?
Oh my God, Tag, don't get me started. Hello to you and B. Hello, banquet of consequences. Man, if they fund millions of migrants, then we can certainly fund those in need after the storm. No, because they spent all the money is what they're saying.
Right.
And you look at Mayorkas' face. He looks like a dumbass. Doesn't he?
Oh, man.
Ooh.
Just got our video taken down.
I don't know, whatever.
Well, there goes that one.
Squadgy says, how about headboard hairs?
Hairs. I thought you said headboard hairs.
God, this has just gotten crazy. They sent the Tennessee National Guard 1 week before the hurricane. Oh, good to know that. I thought it was happening at the same time. Yeah, he does look clueless, doesn't he? Like, completely clueless. Yeah. Daddy Warbucks. Kind of, yeah. Yeah, Farm Ranch says he looks that way because he is. Absolutely crazy, guys. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So this was an interesting tweet that went out from Chris Martenson. I don't know if you guys know who he is or not, if everybody knows who he is. Peak Prosperity is his channel, and he really gets into some good stuff, I think. But I thought this was interesting, so I thought I'd just share it with you guys. He says this needs to go far and wide to put pressure on the government to do the right thing and save lives. This evening, from a Peak Prosperity member sent me via private message at his site. He says, they said, I can't post this online because it's not quite public yet, but government officials had a town meeting with all of the residents of Chimney Rock and basically told them that the town was being bulldozed, bodies and all, and the land was being seized by the federal government. They would not be able to move back, and basically their homes, the ones that were standing, were no longer theirs, and that the federal government owned it all. I don't know what crazy play for land this is, but there's a lot of conspiracy about lithium mines. And let me just tell you, as someone who lives in Charlotte and has friends who live in the area of Western North Carolina, they are not being helped. And this is actually being a stand down operation by the feds. And to which then Chris says, what the heck? That's quite disturbing. Is this firsthand, secondhand, or more distant info? And that's good because he's qualifying it, right? He's saying, hey, how do I get to the bottom of this? And they said, our friend owns an Airbnb in Chimney Rock, and they had a town meeting yesterday, and someone from the Fed told them all of those things in a town hall meeting, but doesn't want the information getting out. Also, they are not picking up the bodies, the stench, blah, 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 everywhere is insane. And for some reason, the government does not want to pick them up. One pastor of the local church was going door to door. Kristen says, I can't even, I'm stunned. This is beyond anything I could have imagined, even very recently. You always pick up and bury the dead. It's what humans do. They are violating every possible custom on purpose. Thank you for keeping me informed. People need to know about this. Let me know when you're comfortable with me posting to our forums in an anonymized fashion, of course. And then they went on to say, you can post it. The message needs to get out. Something evil is going on in the North Carolina mountains. I just didn't want to be identified. Just today, we filled up the trailer for the shelter in Hendersonville, North Carolina, and had no food or for tons of moms and babies. All the stores round are empty or locked. The Chandler, North Carolina, 2,000 people have eaten anything or drank anything in 6 days and just got an SOS message out for help. I'm trying to tag the Cajun Navy in Operation Airdrop, but people are dying by the minute. I hope that's not true. That paints an absolute horrible picture. All right, let's get caught up here. Dear YouTube content creator, you may not resort to name calling because people will be butthurt. That's what's coming next. I'll be sharing that next Friday if I still have a channel. The towns in South Carolina are gathering supplies to take to North Carolina. Some are being blocked from delivering them, and I've heard that as well. They are already denying people the $750. Well, that's a lot of big money. I mean, how are the people in Ukraine ever going to defeat Russia, right? No, high heels or pumps. Yeah. Yeah. This is what can happen when majority of people don't get involved in politics and don't vote. One more rock. I actually think you're right on this about people not being involved. It just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And then you wake up and say, man, I want to fix it, but now you can't, The same fact route has popped up in front of the chat for a few seconds, 3 times now. Well, I would rather it pop up in the chat because then you can just ignore it versus shutting the live down. FYI, says Gizmo, if a tree from your neighbor's property falls on your house, the neighbor, aren't liable. Yep. I have family just west of Asheville, proper in the mountains. They are okay, but trapped on their homestead because the roads are washed out. They said things are worse than what we're being told. And see, Kelly, this is the reports I'm getting too. Again, I have connections. One of them is Billy Bond, who lives in Asheville. But I've got some down there, and all of the firsthand accounts that I'm getting support a lot of these things. Yeah, I wouldn't take the $750. They'll tax it as income. I guarantee you they will. Yeah, they have conditioned us not to talk about politics. Yeah, and apparently not about medical things either, right? I am so livid about our government not helping the neighbors in Tennessee and South Carolina. I agree. Yeah. Time to stop filing our taxes. Here's the thing, but if we could get 10 million people to do that, it would make a huge difference. What are they going to do?
Start at the top.
That'd be way too many. The problem is if 5 people do it, they'll just put them all in prison. Remember I told you I did a little digging? So I thought I'd share it with you. So this is from November 2023. This is the post-disaster guide for local officials and leaders from FEMA. Okay, so this is from FEMA. And can you guys believe what goal number 1 for FEMA is? This is on their website. You can look this up. Goal number 1: instill equity as a foundation of emergency management.
Goal number 1.
Yeah. So remember back earlier in it when I was telling you guys how Heels Up was referring to, rescue that should be done by race, and by sex. This is what they're talking about, right? Install equity as a foundation for emergency, followed by track and evaluate equity outcomes, which is absolutely crazy. They set out and they put out 8 equity goals. Within the guide, they advocate for equitable outcomes. And this is really important. How can you guarantee an outcome? Because an outcome is dictated on effort. So if the powers that be come in and guarantee any kind of outcome, it means the outcome is fixed regardless of the effort.
If they already know the outcome.
If they say the outcome is everybody gets $1,000 no matter what you do, nobody's going to do anything. If the outcome is guaranteed, then there will be no effort. No one's going to help themselves. No one's going to work hard, right? Those kinds of things. Effectively, FEMA is factoring in race, sex, and sexual preference into who should receive disaster relief first. Moreover, the Emergency Food and Shelter Program has been reshaped to provide funding to families and individuals encountered by DHS. What they're talking about is immigrants, right? This is a totally separate program, and they've already allocated $685 million to it. And you wonder why they say they don't have any money to help our American citizens who are starving down there. So you guys don't have to believe the posts and the tweets. Go to FEMA's website. Right here, their number one goal is to install equity as a foundation of emergency management.
And this is all from them.
Yes, this is all from
That
well,
is
these
just
these blue
stupid.
boxes. These are their 8 goals.
Stupid.
Yep. To be able to get the 750, you have to be able to show ID. It's true, Tag. 216 dead, hundreds missing. As waters recede, bodies are in vehicles. They brought in pallets of body bags. I'm a North Carolina resident. Yeah, and this is, again, guys, this lines up right here. This is someone firsthand, someone who lives there, and it matches to what I'm hearing, not on the news, because the news ain't going to get you anywhere, and you can't trust anything on the internet, but what I'm hearing from the people who are actually there. I wonder about insurance companies. If they fail, there are a lot of retirees who IRAs are connected with the insurance industry. Oh, you bet there are. So there is a thing, conservative friends, I don't know if you're aware of, called the Guarantee Fund, and it exists pretty much in every single state. So like the Kansas Guarantee Association, for example, guarantees the death benefit of an insurance policy, or guarantees the payout of like an annuity. But anything that's tied directly to the market, so, you know, if you're talking about a variable annuity, an adjustable, if you're talking about any of those kind of things, they would have no guarantee to them. And so if an insurance company fails, the funds that are there to protect them will be to protect the benefits of the death benefit, like in a life insurance policy, for example. It won't be there to protect the shareholders. It won't be there to protect, you know, the money markets or the, you know, any of those kind of things. Let's see here. Daily Wire Plus ad interrupting your live. Of course, but you don't need an ID to vote. No, but you do for $7.50. Well, that depends, because there's lots of people getting, you know, EBT cards with $13,000 balances on them, which I doubt they have ID. Just a guess. Let's see. Tiny Blackwater town in North Carolina will help fuel the world's AI revolution with enough quartz to power the entire 530 billion semiconductor global industry. Yeah, that's ground zero for what just happened. Here's the hypothetical. If the farmers and homeowners in North Carolina wouldn't sell their land to Piedmont Lithium, I wonder what could be done to incentivize them to sell. These people are sitting on lithium, which is worth billions. Maybe a flood from a hurricane that didn't seem like a normal hurricane. Do you think losing everything they own would make them sell? It still looks a lot like Lahaina to me. They wanted it, and so they took it. Thoughts?
Right? That's what happened in Hawaii.
In Hawaii. Yeah, and I think if I remember right, they got $650. Maybe they got $700, just a little bit under what they're offering the people now.
Well, inflation.
Right.
They get $50 more.
Right. The most incompetent disaster response in U.S. history. $916 billion military budget. How the F are there not thousands of helicopters and endless troops helping those suffering? They expect you to pay taxes and do nothing when you need them most. There are literally more good-hearted citizens helping than government responders. Inexcusable. I could not agree more.
With Matt Wallace.
Yeah, soldiers at Fort Bragg or Fort Liberty were actually told to stand down from providing any help per Heels Up and the Potato Administration. Yeah, you know, they renamed Fort Bragg. Fort Bragg been Fort Bragg for a long, long time. Now they call it Fort Liberty.
Why?
To be more inclusive.
Because Bragg wasn't?
Bragg was probably named after some alpha male.
Somebody.
Who's probably white. But Elon Musk says FEMA is blocking delivery of Starlink equipment and seizing goods locally. I actually read a whole article about this, and they said it's because of the tit for tat fight going on between Elon Musk and the potato administration. Bonnie says weather manipulation ? You know, one of the things that I've been curious about is, did you guys notice how when that hurricane entered over land, it normally, everyone I've ever seen before would hang a right and head out into the ocean.
Correct.
But this one took a left and headed inland. The only one I've ever seen. Has anyone else ever seen that? I'm not a hurricane expert, so I would love to hear what someone's take is on that. Trump said an hour ago he is restoring the Fort Bragg name. I hope he does, Chris. I absolutely hope he does. That is Fort Bragg. And you know, what's crazy is Fort Bragg. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Fort Bragg is where many of the Special Forces soldiers are trained. I mean, that's where the warriors come out of, you know?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yep. Great. Craziness, huh? Let's see here. Tennessee resident says that Tennessee and government agencies sending out text messages telling everyone do not help your neighbors in need.
What?
Yes. Message says, we don't want you to donate stuff to other people. You need to just donate money and stuff to us and get your instructions from us and listen to us. They were like, do not donate your time. If you think you're going to come here and bark orders at us and then expect the people just to give you the money and us trust that you're going to try and take care of us. Yeah, this was from the Wall Street Apes that put out before saying that they're getting messages saying don't help. Yeah, this should have been in a different ad. Let me go back here real quick. Real quick, you guys see that Verizon one? That actually should have been in a different slide. But so you guys know, the Verizon Message Plus will be discontinued the day after the election, for anybody who needs to know that. For those of you guys who don't know what Message Plus is, it's the only one that I'm aware of where you can have like 100 people on a text chat.
Okay.
Right. And you can have the regular text, or you can go to Google Messages.
Yeah, because otherwise you're limited to like 20 people on the regular app, on the other app, I guess.
Correct.
The app that come with the phone.
Yeah, correct. So anyway, I
just can't believe that whole not helping, don't help your neighbor. That's like,
yeah, Tamara said, yep, the only one I've ever seen go left. Yeah, that's what I think too. I thought that was super weird. Just an observation. Justin Rhodes remarked, oh no, property lines are going to be messed up. I'm thinking creek roads and mark lines are different. Will be a mess to deal with. Oh, that's a great point. You know, look into blue ball drops. Okay. I've not heard of that, but I will look into it. Got it?
Yeah.
Has another one else heard the audio from Glenn Beck about the shofars blowing right at the storm blew into North Carolina? No, but I had a buddy of mine just send me a Beck video that just came out. So I'm assuming this is it, but I hadn't had a chance to watch it yet. Land grabs by the greedy have gone on forever. The railroad angered a lot of owners through eminent domain. Yes, they did. Yep, they don't make it right though, right? I'm in Tennessee and have not received any such messages. Thank you for that. What I thought was weird was the way the rain clouds around the eye split and spread out as it went north. I was born and raised in Florida. It was a weird storm for sure. The guys on the audio that Beck played called them trumpets, but they were shofars. They'll tell you it's for your safety or it's for the greater good. Just do it for the greater good. Take one for the team, David.
Don't help your neighbor.
Don't, yeah, right.
Send the money to us so we can help your neighbor.
Yeah, wow about the shofar. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I will go and watch that video. But, you know, I think what's important that we get out of all of this, and guys, I had hundreds of pictures of what's going on down there. I didn't load them in because I just didn't have time to do it all tonight. But it's just, I think there's such a big lesson in all of this, you know, that FEMA didn't come to help, you know, they're not helping. And, you know, the Red Cross, they're not really helping. And, you know, the government agencies aren't really helping. What's helping is the community.
I heard a story of
Good.
There was a lot of airplane activity above a couple and they were bypassing them and they needed help. They were waving, you know, help, help, help. And then there was a helicopter, a private guy in his own rig flew over, saw them, landed, left his son, took the wife, drove her to safety, flew her to safety, dropped her off. And when he was leaving to go back, he had to go get his son and he was going to get the husband, I think, too. And they told him that if he tried to get the husband and bring him back, that the pilot would be arrested. Mm-hmm. And he said, I'm going to go back. I'm going back to get my son. And they said that you cannot get the husband or you will be arrested. I think that is just insane.
Yeah, and how do they even have the authority to do that? I mean, I think they could probably say because it's a disaster area or whatever, you can't go in there. It's dangerous.
It's
You're
dangerous.
endangering the workers. Blah 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 blah. Probably would be my guess. But I mean, at the end of the day, guys, regardless whether it was the big storm that went through, or the fact that Israel, North Korea, Ukraine, China, all of the threats of nuclear war going on, regardless whether it's an economic issue, right? Which, I mean, we're $36 trillion in debt and they're not slowing down at all.
No, it's gaining.
Right. I mean, go to the store, prices are, kind of gone, completely through the roof.
$8 for cottage cheese.
$8 for cottage cheese.
At our local store.
Yep.
I did not buy cottage cheese.
Yep. Another natural disaster. Mariocas, whatever's said earlier, that they're expecting another large hurricane. An X9 solar flare left the sun and is headed towards Earth, right? Whether it's, those things, Bill Gates, Fauci, they all talk about the next big pandemic, right? Whether it's, that, or whether it just simply boils down to tyranny. When all the chips fall on the table, what do you have? Because I'm going to tell you something. What you need is community.
Yeah.
Because that's who's going to come to your aid.
Yeah. Right.
You guys remember 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, whatever it was, when my neighbor caught my place on fire. And it was such a big deal at the time, because it got caught on fire. But, we didn't call the fire department. We just called the community, and the community came over and put it out. And I never really gave it much thought until all of the stuff that we've been going through, and that we're going through. We're just watching it, down there in North Carolina and those places. But how wonderful was it to be able to do that?
We did that twice. When the field caught on fire up at the top of the driveway, we called the neighbor.
Yeah.
That was the first time he walked over with a
rake and a water pump.
And a 1 gallon water pump. I'm like, what are you doing, guy? And he's like, just like it was, he burns fields all the time. Like that is just, he is not shocked by it. It's just a normal thing. He's like, yep, just gonna walk along and use my rake. And I'm like, I can use a rake to stop a fire. And then I'm like, oh, hey, that works.
Yeah. David says, B nailed it. We can connect with the masses by asking if any of this makes sense. And that's actually a really good question. One of my favorites when I'm just walking around and I approach somebody is, world's an interesting place, huh? And I just shut up. Well, what we heard is so important. It's such a great question, because what happens is they will say
a couple different things.
Oh yeah, it's a good place, or blah, blah, or they'll say whatever. But what they're going to do is they're going to tell me how they lean right there. They're going to tell me what they're concerned about. Right. And it kind of brings it up. And then I know whether to just walk away right there or to continue the conversation. My carpenter knows the father and son that was involved in that incident. Talking about the helicopter.
Really?
That fire chief that did that has now been arrested.
That's
helicopter didn't follow protocol. Let me tell you something. If my wife is there and one of my kids are there, I'm going. So do what you got to do, tough guy. I promise you this is true.
You'll arrest me when I get back, I guess.
Well, whatever.
Well, why would he fly back there? I'd fly him over here, let him off, and then be like, sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I saw the same video.
Or
strangely, the private helicopter pilot was asked to come back to help a couple of days later.
Really?
We're tired of people telling us what we can and can't do. Yeah, squatchy time to move. I don't know if you know this. There's a lot of beautiful places in the United States of America, but Kansas is really nice this time of year. Just saying.
Even though that's the thing, though, even if he's where he's at, we all have to stand up and do it together, because this is not gonna.
Yes, the problem is
not gonna go.
There's got to be enough of us, and I would rather have.
Look at what's going on down there. Their neighbors are yoking up left and right. Didn't even know.
They learned some hard lessons, aren't they?
And we are all learning lessons from it.
I'm learning them. I spent the last couple of days thinking about it. As you're out and you're raking concrete, or I'm out there finishing concrete, and you're just in your thoughts, because that work doesn't take any brain work. It's just, And I'm just thinking in my thoughts about, like one of the conversations I had with Billy was really profound to me. And it's really had me thinking a lot about all of this, Banquet says there was an excellent article on American Thinker regarding a FEMA response in the Florida Keys during Harvey. It's all about the money and the kickbacks. Oh, of course it is. Yeah, there's a video floating around that there's lithium in western North Carolina and eastern Tennessee area that somebody wants to mine, and it's on farmland in that region. I read that too. Saw that too. Be no airspace restrictions prior and 30 minutes after the incident. One was listed. Florida Mom Bear says the husband then had to be dragged across a raging river instead of a 3-minute flight. The pilot apologized to the husband and said he should have risked arrest.
He did leave him.
Mm-hmm. How about that second moon we have now? I haven't seen no second moon. Have you seen the second moon?
I thought we already had a second moon. Do we have a third
No, I
one now?
heard we're going to see another thing in the sky, but I haven't been out there, so I don't know. Is that visible now? Squatchy, tell me what the scoop is. Tina says the husband and wife are now together, so it was worth everything, in my opinion. 2 days after they threatened to arrest him, they called all civilian pilots to come help. I know people out here around me are so fed up with all this stuff. Harvey was in Texas, not Florida, says Vicky. Yeah, again, guys, I think I would encourage everybody to take a hard look at what's going on around, and I talk a lot about community because I think it's just so important. But you should be having talks right now about what should you be doing. Because there's a lot going on, and any one of these is super bad for everybody. So
yeah, put your neighbors on speed dial.
Yeah, well, go see them. If you don't know them, go walk over and say hello.
Well, that too. I mean, you gotta know them in order to call them.
If you know them, have a barbecue.
If you don't know them, have a barbecue. Invite them over.
Yeah, do something.
Somebody's got to start it.
I would prefer to know all of mine. I do know mine in a pretty good circle, but even the ones that I wouldn't consider, in our community, but ones that we know, so that if something comes up, I'm not a stranger.
Yeah. Well, and too, then that there's a little old lady down there that, if we have a crazy ice storm and everything's down, maybe somebody should go check on her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if you have to ride a mule to get to her.
Yeah. Well, I promise you guys, these communities won't be welcoming to outsiders.
Right.
In an event, they will not be welcoming. So you need to make those connections today.
Yeah. Hey, I was going to tell you, I saw 3 Tennessee license plates on my way to the grocery store and back.
Really?
Yep. At first, I saw a blue license plate, and I thought, oh, that's an interesting plate. And I'm just sitting behind it. And then I look over and I'm like, hey, that's the same license plate. And I could see at the tops in Tennessee. And I was like, well, that's weird. Yeah. Well, then just driving a little bit farther and I'm like, okay, that's weird. Now that's the 3rd Tennessee license plate that I have just seen in hours time. Yeah.
Chris says cool heads will prevail. I hope that's true. I had a very interesting conversation with I'm not going to mention them because and I know they will not want this. They won't want me quoting them that they said this, but anyways, I had this conversation with them and I said, I hope this is not the beginning. And he replied to me, and we were text messaging. He replied to me back, it's absolutely the beginning. And I said, boy, I really, really hope that you're wrong. That this is just not the start of something bigger. But again, you guys, go get your stuff squared away. And so you could ask yourself, well, what does that mean? What does that mean, get your stuff squared away? Well, if they turned your water off, how are you? Let's start right there. Water is really, really important.
Do you have a way to get it?
Right. Can you filter it and can you store it? And I'm not talking about having jugs of water in plastic, down in your basement for 2 years that's leaching plastic into your water. I'm talking about, do you have a source of water? Rainwater catchment, a cistern buried somewhere. Do you have a creek nearby or a pond? Do you have a way to filter it? So water, right? If they shut your power off, what would you do? If you don't know, go turn your breaker box off.
Yeah, try it. Yeah. Try it for a weekend. Yeah. Turn it off.
Yeah.
See how you fare.
Yeah. Yeah. Go do that.
Try to do it before you go to the store.
Yes. Food, right? If a month goes by, there's people like we're seeing all kinds of reports come up that are talking about people are out of food. It's been 6 days and they're not eating now. 6 days. Now, I know most of the
people with kids.
Most people on here would be okay after 6 days, but
medications. Make sure you have enough.
And Gypsy said, we put the word out, guys. Yeah, and I would totally be willing to help. B and I are still consider bringing a young family onto the farm and going down that road. We're not there yet, but we're, still having those conversations. But there's a lot of help out there. And I'm going to tell you, if I knew somebody, if Billy called me, for example, and said, hey, we got to get out of here. Can we come, spend a month on your farm? Let's roll, we'll make it work. But guys, build relationships. It's really, really, really important.
And too, when you have a community and you're not the only one. So then you have other people in your community who are in need. It's not just you who is like, I don't have that item, then you have other people around that you can be like, hey, here's a person that's on insulin and I can't get it. Does anybody have anything or any suggestions or a medical device that uses electricity?
Yep.
That if you're dependent upon it and you're, plug it in, try to get yourself to, something, a little portable one that you can use in the event that you need it. We have parents who are on oxygen. Do they have a way to use, the portable ones or one that makes it or options?
And guys, the thing is that powering a portable oxygen device is not big power. That's cheap.
But that big one that she has, that thing is that big concentrator.
Yeah,
I would imagine that uses quite a bit, especially if it's on.
It's not producing heat. You could run that for quite a while on a decent system.
So it's just heat.
Heat, not just heat, but heat is usually the big culprit. Any kind of electric heat, pulling energy. But yeah, I'll bet you that I could run her plug-in oxygen machine on $1,000. I could run it full time. So yes, that's a lot of money.
Is that so? Like, what does that look like? Is that a device that you just put in your like a jump box? Is it like a little thing?
It's a little portable solar generator.
Okay,
that she could plug into. And
so it's solar.
By the way, Florida Mama Bear said put a hand pump on your well.
Yeah,
that's a really, really good one. See, Skanes Girl says I drove all the way to Baton Rouge to get oxygen for one of my neighbors after Katrina.
Right.
Yeah, Lisa said I want to second that. Excellent interview. Yeah, and I have not watched it yet, but it's on my list to watch, Lisa. Which I will get talking about a Billy interview somewhere up here.
The Billy interview?
Right here. Billy at Perma Pasture Farms did a great interview with Dane Wigington from Geoengineering Watch. Check it out. I've been following Geoengineering Watch for years. Everybody got that? Okay. Yep. So, again, there's a lot going on in the world. Probably should touch base real quick on what happened over in Israel, right? Iran launched, I know you guys probably already knows this, but launched a whole bunch of more missiles into Israel. And Israel has yet to respond, but I promise you they will. And it seems to me like that just keeps ticking up and getting a little more intense all along, which again brings me back to my whole original point of all of this stuff, which is, one of the things that helps you prepare for everything, like having a homestead, for example. That's a great solution because you'll be able to deal with a lot. Right, by having your own food and having your own water and having some of those things. But community will take you a lot further too. And I know I'm harping on it a lot, guys, tonight, but man, it has just been an absolute eye opener. Mandy said it great right there. I saw Billy interview and it was an eye opener for sure.
Well, and it's not, we see what our community does and we see how we work together and there's people helping each other in our absence. Like it's not just always us that's there for people. It's other people who are there for people. And we're just like, we love this. It's great. Look, it's working. And then, so we see what our community is doing, but then to see other people who may or may not have known their people that they're helping, but they feel inside of them the passion for life and they want to help other people and they are doing it. And to see that is amazing. And you know what? God's hand is at work all over the place. And I think that it's amazing. And I think that those who are not helping, well, I think that
Mhm.
things just happen to great people. So good things happen to great people.
Yeah, a couple I wanted to talk about here real quick. Leela says, I read an article about the helicopter pilot, and it said that a day later they were begging for private chopper pilots because the military choppers were too big to land in the middle of the debris. Military has small choppers, just so you know. But again, how do you know what to believe? I don't know which side of that to believe.
I think that it's crazy
idea.
that at one point in time they are telling them that they're going to be arrested and then turn around a couple days later and say, hey, we need your help.
Yep.
When, there's people that are there to help, and why couldn't they have just accepted the help in the first place?
Mhm.
And why they're accepting it now.
Mhm.
They're asking for it. So what changed?
Well, you don't know they're asking for it.
Then they just say that they are.
But that doesn't make it.
Days
But
later.
that doesn't make it fact. I mean, it just as easily could be a case of they went through all the shenanigans, they kicked that pilot out, they took some heat, and said, "Oh, please come help us," and don't really do it. I mean, right? You know, that's the problem is with what you read
Right,
on the
'cause
news
you're not
today.
there.
Who knows? I don't have any idea. What's going on. What B was talking about is having community that helps each other. There was a house that was built, a tiny house, but a house that was built recently for Callie and Jesse. You guys remember Callie? I did an interview with her, the Boy in 7 Billion lady. Well, she moved to Kansas. And we did an interview, the lady that I did the interview with. But anyway, the community stepped and helped her build a little tiny house. I didn't do any of it. I wasn't even there because I had other things going on the 2 days that they were out there doing that. But Nito says, I'm trying hard to put together a community here. It has not been very easy. You probably don't want to share this, which is okay, Nitos, but I'm going to tell you something. Getting the first couple's the hardest. As it begins to build, it becomes easier and easier and easier and easier and easier as time goes on. But I would absolutely welcome a conversation with you, bud. And you have my cell phone. We've talked many a times, about maybe other ways that we can do it. What are you saying? Are you walking up to people, or are you just advertising on Facebook? Like, how are you doing it? But I would welcome that conversation. I would absolutely help you if I could. Mandy says, Tag and B, how far apart are the people in your community? Well, this is an interesting question because you got to define community. Mandy, as you know, you've seen me speak a lot of times, and you and I've spoken a lot of times. I look at community as a bunch of different circles. So just like everybody here tonight is part of my community, or I consider it that way. It's the extended community, right? Because you guys are from all over. If you're talking about just locally here, the ones that get together and build houses and stuff like that, I think the furthest one away is probably 30 minutes. But there's many that are within 5 minutes and 7 minutes, right? Would you agree with that? 30 minutes, probably.
I don't know. Community.
Depends on your definition of community, right? That's what I'm saying. That's a hard word.
We've got people 2 hours away
that come.
That community.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's a large part of them that are right here close. But we do get some. I mean, we've had people who drove up from Texas. We've had people who drove up from Arkansas to come and help and that. And again, they're part of a community too, right?
Right.
Right. And so I hope that answers your question. Let's see here.
But yes, there's
military choppers did not get clearance to fly.
Did not get clearance to fly.
Yeah, well, it's pretty hard for a military chopper to help people in need if they don't get clearance to fly, right?
Well, yeah.
I heard that they called them back from the pilot in the interview. Yeah. What a shame. I have no idea. Y'all may have seen one of the rescuers' videos where he entirely used vegetable oil to power his truck and didn't have to use fuel resources.
What?
I love that.
No, I didn't see that.
It's one of the advantages of having a diesel.
Huh.
You can do stuff like that. Especially older diesels, which is super, super cool, right?
That's a lot of oil, though, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys, we're going to, I think we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I know it's an hour and 38 and it's a little bit early, but I'm exhausted. I've had a long, long day. But listen, before we go, I want to just stress to you guys that all of the people that I've talked to that have been down there, and like I said, there's a lot of YouTube channels down there. I know most of the most of the YouTubers, right, or a lot of them out there. I've talked to many of them, and the same message I'm getting over and over and over again, which is none of it all mattered. What mattered was who the neighbor was. What mattered was the locals who got, their butts up, put their boots on, and went and helped. It's, the organizations, the associations, the administrations, they're not doing it. It's all community. Community is what's doing it. And guys, I'm going to tell you something. Go yoke up. Do it now. Don't wait. Find a way. You and your one neighbor are 3 times as strong as you by yourself. And you and 2 neighbors are 5 times as strong.
Yep.
Everyone you add is another force multiplier. And if you can't find one somewhere else, come out to Kansas and I'll show you a great one. Sound good? Anything else you want to add?
Nope.
All right. We're going to
Sounds
see you.
good.
Good night, everybody. Tag and be out. God
Good
bless.
night.